um, that they will be 2010, and I think that I don't know how to take this information because I live here. My family, almost all my family live here, and this person told me that things are going to broke up here very, very badly. That's why I asked you this kind of question. But well, that's another theme.
Right. Well, we're hearing similar things here in the States. But again, I want to tell you that there is simply not enough military to control everybody.
Yeah, I know that.
And it could very well be that the military is not going to just support the government. I think ultimately, because it is part of the people, the military is the people. They have their families in the same neighborhoods. They have their children in the same schools. That I think logic will win out. What I see is going to probably happen, and I know that this will probably happen here in the United States, is that there will be a push to create a global government where they say that they control and they own everything.
Yeah.
And that's where the issue is going to come.
Yeah.
Where the people are like, you don't own us, you don't own our water, you don't own our homes, you don't own our livestock. And the people are going to push back and say, to hell with you.
Yeah.
And I know that's going to happen here in the States. It's already beginning to happen. That's the arrogance of these ruling 13 families and the control that is above them, which is extraterrestrial. It's going to force the issue, and I'm okay with that. My concern is that humanity doesn't turn on itself and destroy itself.
Yeah.
And I have faith that we're going to be okay. I mean, it may not be pretty and ugly, and it will be ugly in some places.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think what comes out of it will be so much better, and we will be all the more wiser for it. And these groups, these families that have been controlling humanity for so long, they're going to have to leave.
Okay.
This is not going to be tolerated any longer because they've had their opportunity to help humanity, and they've squandered it.
Mm-hmm.
They have screwed things up so badly that it's time for them to get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to be fired.
Yeah, actually, yes. Alex, I want you I want to ask you a question. That this is regarding the conference that I told you with JC Knight. She, at the beginning of the video, she said something related to Ramtha, and someone at the end of the conference asked you regarding Ramtha, because she said that the Andromedans called Ramtha, and they know him as the commander. Why do the Andromedans call Ramtha or know him as the commander?
Well, that's his title. That is just no more than a title.
Okay.
Just like president, the label of a scientist, it's no different. It's just a title. Not necessarily a nobility, but it's just a title.
Okay.
And they do know of him. He is a very real person, being.
Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting because when I started to read some teachings of Ramtha, I wasn't convinced at all. But then I found some things that they were very interesting, and I asked myself, where Ramtha, who's Ramtha? What kind of being is Ramtha? And when I found the information that you gave, in some things I found little similarities and actually you mentioned that on that video. But when she said that the commander, I think and I assume that this is like a high position that he has on his dimension or community or I don't know. I don't know, but well, I think that you have answered that question. And
I wouldn't get stuck on that. I wouldn't get stuck on that. I mean, he's a spiritual being in a physical body, just like all of us, and he's trying to evolve. It's just that, his focus is on helping a lot of developing races, humanities, in cultures like ours. We're not the only ones. He's apparently helping, and other races are helping. They're looking forward to implementing the law of consistency throughout our galaxy. And that means, assisting when they can and when it's appropriate to all civilizations trying to evolve.
Okay.
Into self-maturity.
Okay.
So it just means he has some compassion, to our plight here.
Okay. Well, the other question on the list is regarding that Rick Keefe on his website mentioned something regarding that you will rewrite the Defending the Sacred Ground book.
Yes.
Are you doing this? Do you have plans for the future to do this?
I do. I want to. And the reason for that is the original version, or the version that's out there, I didn't actually compile together. We had been working with, in the very, very beginning, before when I first started talking in 93, there was a guy up in Washington State, Val Valerian, who offered to help transcribe some of the lectures. And naively, we were like, hey, that would be great, that would help, because he had a reputation. And he was doing that, and back in 94, or late 94, I got an email from a nurse in North Carolina who said that she wanted to support me directly and wanted to buy my book from me directly. I wrote back to her that I didn't have a book. She wrote back to me and said, well, sure you do. Here it is. And this is how we found out that Val Valerian was selling the book without our knowledge at all. That he had taken all these notes and transcribed them. He was sending them back to us, but he had compiled this book himself and was selling it and keeping all the money. Yes. So much for spiritual evolution, right? And that began something. So, and I have said this publicly, and I've put this out there, and I've told this story publicly, and it is my opinion that, yes, there's an awful lot of knowledge in there, but much of what was on those tapes, he didn't put in. He tweaked for his own belief systems. And in my opinion, the book is a piece of shit. It needs to be cleaned up a lot.
Okay.
That is definitely on my to-do list.
Okay.
It's on my to-do list.
Well, actually, I want you to know, and this is something that I don't know if you agree with it. If you have plans to rewrite the Defending the Sacred Ground book, I offer myself to translate in Spanish and publish the book in Spanish.
I'm okay with that.
Well,
I'm okay with that.
Okay, and I think that we can have another call to go deeper on the details, because my girlfriend is working on Santillana Editions. It's a company that sells books and makes books, and I want to help it that way.
Well, we can certainly cross that bridge when we get to it.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
That's right, and the second side of the tape is ending, so I'm going to change the tape if you want.
Actually, I have to go too because I'm making chicken soup for